Hey, this is David Crone with HorseRacingNation.com. Today I'm going to talk about the Louisville Handicap. It's kind of a light weekend of racing. We don't have the belt, we don't have, the Preakness, we don't have the Derby, we don't have some of these really top caliber races. But the Louisville Handicap is a really good race, a field of 11, lining up going a mile and a half. I've actually got a horse in here that I really like. Let's start by just kind of talking about the race a little bit. When you start trying to analyze the pace in here, there's simply not a lot of speed. I mean, you have a horse like Bearpath, has a little bit of speed. Free Fighter has a tendency to show a little bit of speed every once in a while. Eagle Poise seems like he'll be the horse that makes the lead. And then you've got a lot of horses in here that are just really out of the cloud closers. You do not have much pace in here whatsoever. So you start analyzing this race a little closer, and you can see that the favorite in here is probably going to be Brass Hat. Now, Brass Hat is a horse that wants to come from way off the pace. In his last start, he was 12 lengths out of it in the Elkhorn going a mile and a half. Before that, he's normally about 10 to 12 off of it early in the races. And that really can be a style that is not really suited to the Churchill Downs turf course. Brass Hat's only 1 for 4 at Churchill. He's a very consistent horse, but he hasn't had a ton of success at Churchill, and that one win is the only time he's ever hit the board on the turf at Churchill. So I think Brass Hat in here is a horse you can definitely take a stand against. And past him, there's just kind of a lot of horses in that 6 to 10 to 1 type range. You've got horses like Bearpath, who I think may just be a cut below the top notch. You've got a horse like Silverfoot, the 10-year-old gelding that has shown nothing in his first 2 starts this year that I think you have to take a stand against. When I'm looking at this race, there's a horse that I really like in here, a horse that really stands out to me that gets a great pace set up. I love the fact that he's going back to turf. I'm talking about Eagle Poise. Eagle Poise is with Bill Mott now after the tragic passing of Bobby Frankel. He's a Judd Mott horse. He has an unbelievable pedigree. Eagle Poise is by Empire Maker out of a dam named Reams of Verse. Now, Reams of Verse is a daughter of Nureyev. She also happened to win the English Oaks, one of the top races for fillies on turf in the world. So, Eagle Poise obviously has a huge pedigree. All Judd Mott horses have huge pedigrees. This horse is moving back to the turf for only the 3rd time in his career. He's 1 for 2 on the turf thus far. That was a good win at Woodbine. He's only a 4-year-old. He really seems to be improving, and he probably could get the lead in here. And if not on the lead, he's going to be close to a pretty soft pace. I think Eagle Poise has a big shot in the Louisville Handicap, and he's going to be a pretty good price. Now, past him, I think you can use some horses that might be prices. Telling is going to be the horse to beat in here, but he's another horse that isn't a horse that has to even hit the board. I mean, you could really see 3 horses in this race hit the board at 10 to 1. And I'm looking at some horses like a Free Fighter. Free Fighter's a horse that can show a little speed early, has enough talent to get a piece of it here. So does a horse like a Silver Mountain. Last time out, he didn't run a huge race, but that race was off the turf. Now he's moving back to the turf. He's stretching back out to a mile and a half. That might be his best distance. And you're getting 20 to 1 on the morning line. So there's some horses in here that can definitely get a piece. Even a Hidden Glance at 15 to 1 on the morning line. I think Eagle Poise has a big shot in here at 6 to 1. I think you can take a shot with some prices underneath. Maybe hit a huge trifecta or super. Best of luck to you. It's kind of a light weekend of racing stakes-wise, but there's some really good races. The Louisville Handicap's one of them. Make sure you stick with HorseRacingNation.com. We'll have all kinds more updates for you, and we will see you soon.